Hey everybody, this is Drew. Due to the fact that Jaden and I were sharing a mic this episode, our audios might not be clear, so we apologize for the inconvenience, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
There you go. I do the intro?
Episode 8.
We got there.
Alright. Where is this? Talking the podcast, episode 8. What's going on, guys? Drew and...
Oh shit, Jaden.
It's not how we're starting.
I'm just excited to have these guys on today, you know? The boys, we're back.
Yes, sir.
Excited
We
to
made
be
it
on.
somehow,
Yeah.
some way.
So, this is, you're on my right hand side is Preddie, upcoming artist, and on his right hand side is Connor,
Thank
upcoming
you.
photographer.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
For the artist.
Oh, yeah, man. Including us, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of artists too, I guess.
You know, everyone's an artist in their own right.
Yeah, this is... Bro, you want to try without this? Because it might be a little...
Sure, bro, let's go without it. I'll just keep it in the center.
Sketchy setup.
Yeah, sketchy setup, we're on a budget. Go for it, man.
Alright, so the two guys we have today, Noah and Connor, obviously great to have you guys on. It's been a while. We've been wanting at least one of you to come on to the podcast.
For a long time.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time coming. It feels so good to finally be here. You know it too?
Yeah. So how are you guys feeling today?
Good as
Yeah.
well. We got all the boys here. We're filming the podcast finally.
Yeah.
So-
Finally, man.
Finally. It's been a minute. But yeah, I mean, you know, as we said, Connor and Noah are both upcoming artists. Connor's a photographer. Noah's a music artist, producer. And so we just wanted to talk to you guys, you know, as creative artists and, you know, first people that are in the creative space. How's it been like, you know, this year for you guys? What have you guys been up to, you know, in the music scene and the photography scene?
You want to kick it off? You want me to kick it off here first? All right,
Yeah,
sounds
go
good. I mean, things have been good for me personally. Like I've, you know, obviously been able to somehow manage to secure some clients that, you know, want my work, believe it or not, which is obviously incredible. But no, photography itself and just like the freelance arts is, I mean, for anybody who's in it, obviously knows it's just a complete and utter grind for the most part, right? Making sure that you're able to, you know, take care of yourself, but also still, you know, do the marketing and the networking that you're able to do and bring in the clients you're able to. But like, it's definitely a grind for sure. But for myself, I've been pretty good. You know, I also have like, you know, other work on the side that's able to kind of supplement everything and, you know, tie everything together. So I end up doing okay. But like, yeah, I definitely know some who, especially like, you know, this year and still like coming out of like the pandemic, especially just the recession, like a lot of companies are still a little hesitant. And with all the AI stuff, it's like,
Oh yeah, AI's taking
yeah.
over. Is it a photography thing?
Damn.
Yeah, it's been pretty.
Oh
didn't
yeah,
think
I
about
mean,
that.
yeah, like the new Photoshop is just like incredible.
Oh, yeah.
The new beta, what you're able to do on it is just like
I saw
wild.
the AI editing videos and stuff.
Oh yeah. And there's definitely a lot of practical applications for it, but like, damn, it's scary. So as freelance artists, it's definitely scary.
Oh, so we're on to you now. How's writing songs been so far?
Well, it's a good thing I don't do it for like money and shit. I kind of just do it for fun.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm in school with you guys,
Yeah.
but when I get a chance and I got time off work, like sitting down and making music is just a really good way to like let shit go. Even if it's not about me, it's like you can put a lot of emotion into it. And I don't know, it's kind of just like some shit I do in my free time, but if it blows up,
Yeah.
it blows up.
I feel that,
Yeah.
especially if
What
you're
would
in like
you
in
say-
like
what
your
would you say Noah sounds like? What would you
Noah?
say it sounds like?
Dude, this guy, he sounds like Juice WRLD.
He's my inspiration, man.
I know. That's why I said Juice WRLD.
Hell
No,
no.
he sounds like Juice WRLD, bro.
This guy sounds like a give you on to me, bro.
No, okay.
Depends what kind of music
Yeah,
I'm making.
That's true. So like Noah, I know you tried a little bit of, you know, kind of like a techno style Yeet, you know, Destroy Lonely type of stuff. I mean, to the viewers that don't know, obviously search it up. But
Please do.
yeah, but the thing is, like, what musical styles do you prefer more? Like more the vibey, emotional kind of stuff, or more like hardcore? You know, like, you know, just getting down into it type of stuff.
Definitely the vibey stuff. I think it's a lot easier to make the vibey stuff too, but I won't ever put that Dom Corleone shit to the side. I like listening to it,
We got
bumping it.
upcoming requests from like our fellow friends about country music. What's your thoughts on that?
No.
No comment.
I don't know if it's my vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Maybe I'll do it as a
you
joke
can
and it
try
works
one
out.
song, you know?
Little Lil Nas X type
But,
stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, speaking of you guys are friends. Like you guys' friendship go way back, right?
Yeah, we go back for a
Long,
good
long
minute.
time.
Oh
A
man.
long time. Can't count.
Do some math.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're lost
8
now.
years almost.
Yeah.
Damn.
Coming up
Maybe
to like
even
8
more.
years.
Connor,
Maybe
what would
even
you
a little
say,
more.
Noah's personality, or like the entire time you've known him for.
Oh man, I mean, to be fair, I've seen you grow up. So like,
Me too. I feel like we've watched each other grow up.
oh
low-key.
no, 110%. We've definitely grown up each other. So it's like, there's definitely a large part that's like, I feel like it's tough for me to say how much you've changed because I've always kind of like known you throughout. But like, oh yeah, you've like, I mean, dude, we met when we were kids, right?
Yeah,
like I
really.
feel like
We met on Call of Duty. We met on Call of Duty.
Yeah, we
all
met
day.
on
Yeah?
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
thought
it
you
started
guys-
through a mutual friend.
I thought you guys were like school friends and stuff.
Nah,
That was-
mutual
that was
friends,
a
Call of
little
Duty.
later.
After that?
We only went to school for what, like
Yeah, you came in grade 11.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah,
met
2
on,
years
like,
right at the end.
Yeah. Well, through another friend.
Oh damn,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
sick, man.
Yeah, we had a mutual friend. He was what, in soccer with you? I think it was. I was in school with him.
It must have
Well,
been soccer.
we-
Yeah,
Something
I think
like
it was
that.
soccer. I think it was soccer. And there you go.
Our take on Noah is like he's the type of guy, you know, like, oh yo, you have CDs, right?
I think so.
CDs nuts in your face. He's the type of guy like
He's the
that.
type of guy.
Oh, he be cracking that type of jokes, you know, every
It's
time.
only because of you guys throwing it
Yeah,
at
man.
me.
What did I get myself involved in?
Is he like that with you as well?
No.
Huh?
I'm telling you, it's you guys. It's definitely you guys. It's Brent.
That's pretty
It's
sus.
shout out to Brent for that.
Shout out to Brent for that for sure. I remember there was this one like period in time last year when me and Noah, if we texted each other anything, it was just to like
Fuck each other over. Oh yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
There was a good phase.
That was
You
a
had to
funny
be
ass
on-
phase.
You had to be ready
I
for that
remember
shit.
there was just like one thing that I texted him and he was like, "Yo, what are you doing right now?" And I was like, "I'm low-key jamming." He's like, "Damn, good for you."
No.
I was like jamming these nuts in your face. Like, you know what I mean? That was
I think that was the last one.
I think that was the last one.
We ended it
should bring
there.
back.
And bro went celibate.
This guy went celibate. Yeah.
Bro.
That's fucked up.
January, he went celibate.
I'm just kidding. I forgot about that.
No, but like about your childhood, obviously you guys didn't grow up in like the big city. You grew up in the country in like, you know, Kingston, that
Oh, yeah.
area. How would you say that compared to the city? How would you see the difference in that lifestyle?
I think the city's way more fun. Back then, you need to have a
Agreed.
car. You need to get a DD to go anywhere. Your friends are at least 20-minute drive away.
Yep.
At least.
Everything
come to
is
the
20-minute
city?
drive.
You can get on the TTC. You can walk everywhere. It's just...
So you like the chaos?
Oh, definitely.
You hate the serenity and like.
Well,
I mean,
it's good to go back for a bit.
yeah, like.
But
chill out
like,
and, like
the
rock.
day-to-day, I like the city better.
100%. It's fun to go back and like vacation there almost. You know what I
Exactly.
mean, right? But like living there day to day, especially just like, you know, like young artists, like there's no opportunity for us there, right? So it's just like it was just kind of an easy choice, I feel.
By far.
Easy.
Yeah.
How do you guys like the city commuting?
We have an ongoing fucking struggle with that, but
Buddy, that's been
it's like a war for us, man. Getting up, commuting, coming here. But I mean, at the end of the day, you are saving up on a lot of stuff that people here would be spending out on.
Yeah.
So like, say you guys are paying for rent,
Higher rent,
groceries,
yeah.
working on your own, keeping the space clean and everything. We're back home. I mean, it is a tough commute, but at the end of the day, we're also benefiting in a way
You know,
because we're staying with our parents as well.
yeah.
So I mean, there are plus points to both and cons to both. So I feel like, yeah, it is tough, but like, you know, it works. It works for us. So
Like one thing that I would say about like living at home is I do like the freedom that you have in the city. Like there's no like events and there's nothing happening. You know what I mean?
You can walk to anything.
You can walk to any you can walk to anything in like, you know, kind of like a suburban city like Mississauga or something. You can't walk to just everything. You know what I mean?
Tell us about it.
You don't even tell me. I couldn't walk to the nearest house, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's also like the fact that like in the weekends, like there's always this guy's always at a concert or something, or like there's always like some event going on in the city. Whereas like back home, the only thing you can ever do is just like go to Costco or something. You know what I mean?
Literally, man. I was just back in town like this past weekend, and I swear to God, it was like a good population of the town was out just watching like one of the canoe clubs like racing.
Oh,
Like that's
a staple
all,
of
that's like all
Gananoque.
that there is to do, right? And like, oh, they had a crowd, like a solid
Oh,
crowd.
canoe competition.
Oh yeah.
No,
oh,
it's serious.
yeah.
It's serious.
There's a name
I used
for
to do
it.
it.
I'm
It's Canoe Club.
That's like the whitest thing you've
Canoe
ever
club,
said, bro.
bro.
Canoe
You
club.
didn't
Man, we are like
Yeah, for like a year.
Holy
A long time
Y'all
ago.
are like dissing on like a whole group of like rowers right now.
I know. We'll probably get like mogged by a bunch of them. You know what I mean?
Instagram comments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the
You talk
comments.
shit about jet ski, bro. Like, what the fuck, man? Nah. But like, obviously, like, you know, coming from like small towns, like, did that affect your creatives, like, you know, mindset and anything? You know.
I mean, I'd say yeah, just because like, you know, I'm in obviously university for photography. I found like a few of my earlier projects, especially when I did my my first year of university still at home because of the pandemic. I was like, no classes are being taught in person, so why should I even bother like, you know, paying for rent if I can't get anything in person? So I stayed home for that. And a lot of my projects more or less revolved kind of like around the town, just because I felt like it was something that was really easy to kind of like delve into. I knew so much about it. There was definitely like a rich history, and I felt like there's just a lot of stories to tell. Like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but like anytime you go back, like you can just say like, oh, I
Oh
can
my
think of
God,
like
yeah.
12 things that just like happened on that corner, right? And you do that
Remember
for like
when this
every
happened with
corner.
this
Yeah,
person?
yeah. When you go by, yeah. So I just felt like it was easy.
Coming from a small town, like you don't have a lot of people who are doing what you guys are doing. I mean, photography, you probably have like a few guys are like singing songs. I mean, you probably get the countries.
Get a couple, but not that many.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of
actually.
mainstream artists.
There's like just with anything, there's a lot of people who always like dabble around with it because
Right.
like it's fun, right? But
Right.
like as far as like pursuing it like as a career, no, there really aren't that many. At least I can think of off the top of my head.
What about you?
I think not being able to like just go out and do other stuff, like being at home, sitting and just listening to music, kind of pushed me to like, oh, like I could maybe do this, you know. And I started freestyling with my friends and stuff, and then we got into recording. And then as soon as I moved to the city, it was like, okay, I actually like enjoy doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So got more money onto it, like better equipment and stuff like that, and
Of
just
course.
my free time, I just do it now.
Yeah, and like obviously like the shift from the country to the city, right? That obviously for Connor, I'm guessing that changed a lot of things for you because you had like a pretty much a whole canvas. You know, you can go into Toronto in like a random alleyway, find a graffiti, and that's just inspiration for the day. You know what I mean?
100%. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like and then for Noah, obviously you have so many other upcoming artists, you know, in Toronto. How do you find, you know, that shift? Is it like has it been accepting towards you or has it been like a little bit of a struggle?
I say it's very accepting towards me just because of like the type of art I like to make, right? Like I'm not into nature photography. I'm not that into landscape photography, right? So just with that, I didn't do much of it while I was in Gananoque just because like I wasn't all too interested in it, right? I'm much more interested in like more like conceptual art and like product photography, especially, right? Like studio photography, portraiture, whatnot, like fashion. So coming to Toronto for me, oh yeah, there's just so much more of that here, right? So it's definitely lended a bit more towards me.
Mm-hmm.
Curious of what you think.
I think it's definitely been accepting because if I want to, I can definitely go to these specific places. I can go to studios now. There's not a studio close to where we live back home. So now I have those options, and I can just easily run into someone on a day-to-day basis that also makes music.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to work, like I know you have your beats and stuff, of course.
Yeah.
And I meet people like Connor. I mean, I already knew him, of course,
Oh, yeah.
but he does photography. He introduces me to his friends. They can do videos. It's like a whole web of connections. It's just way easier to make here.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Whereas, like-
artists, singers.
Whereas like, you know, back again, like the only person I think that you knew that like made beats was me. And I didn't even like take
You
it all
didn't
as
really make
seriously as
beats,
where,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because I was much more interested in like photography and other things,
Yeah.
right? So like,
It's cool that you tried it though.
I did do it. I did do it for a bit.
Gotta
so
show me some of those, man.
I will
You gotta
later.
play yours tonight too.
Of course.
No, you got any new projects coming out, or you wanna like give us a snippet of what the viewers might want to listen to?
Okay, maybe we can throw a snippet in editing.
Hold up. First of all, where do they find you?
Yeah, where did they find you, man?
Where do they find you? Like, where can they listen to you?
Trait NFN on anything. TRAIT
It would never last. Maybe you can tell me where you're at, cause I really gotta ask. Do you think it ever lasts? But just call me back, you need. And why would you leave? Are you scared of me? Are you scared of me? I'm not okay again, oh no. I hope that you would know that I'm not.
Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, anything you want.
Man's out there.
I do
Check
have
it
some new
out.
shit coming.
Or else?
Some sad stuff, so we'll see how that
Something
goes.
over my beat
What
or
about
I love your sad
Connor,
stuff.
bro?
what about,
You
what
gotta
about
give
you?
me more,
Where
too.
Where can we find you?
What do I got going? Oh man, so all right, I'm gonna spell it out for you here. Okay, so you go on Instagram, right? You type in CONNOR Connor.Leck. Connor.Leck. You can find me there. Link in bio will bring you to my website and everything else that you might need to find. So check me
We'll
out
tag them
there.
on
It's not
here.
your first
Hit me up in
promo.
my DMs. I need more clients, please.
I'll take you up on that.
Hey, bet.
No, but like obviously, like Noah, you said you got some like sad shit going on, and obviously like that's been kind of like your forte, coming up with sad shit. What do you take as inspiration when you're coming up with music?
I think
Sad shit.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and I think it's listening to like a lot of Juice WRLD and like X and stuff. It's easy to put like any sad situation that you think of into like a perspective of a song. So you just come up with a lyric and you can build off of it. So some things maybe are relatable, but like a lot of the stuff I do, like I'll just think of a line that works with the cadence of the song, and then I'll just build off of it, like from a situation I make up in my head or whatever.
I got a question. So, does anything for both of you guys? Does anything from your personal life? I mean, it could be tragic. It could be a breakthrough or success. How do you guys ever relate it through your careers? Like, I mean, or even as a hobby. Like for you, photography. For you, it could be not necessarily studies, but like, I mean, you're doing it basically as a program. You're studying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
Yes.
He's doing it as a hobby, as something he loves to do on the side.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you can channel that energy? It could be sad, right? Like I said, sad, and into your space, into your career, or
Yeah.
do you feel like
Definitely.
Personal projects are always easier to. Obviously, depending on like what like the client you're working with is. Some clients are more open than others. Others are just like hey, this is what I want, and this is how much I'm willing to pay you for it. And that's literally that's pretty much the end of the conversation, right? So some clients are definitely more open to it, others not as much. But in personal work, I mean, it's personal work, right? So like that's what it's all about.
Definitely impacts my stuff.
Yeah.
Just even if I don't rap about it, you can put it out in the emotion that you put in like singing or rapping or whatever, and it just like it's kind of a release of stuff.
And like on top of that, like I like that, like I make beats and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of have like a little bit of experience about letting your emotions dictate what you're gonna produce, right? And so like when it comes to that personally, like I feel like emotions play a big part when you're a musician, right? Because with any Juice WRLD, obviously, like if you listen to Death Waits for Love or like A Good Vibe,
I love that album.
those two albums, like you could tell this guy was going through something, right? So I feel like with art and with like creativity, you can convey, what an artist is feeling or what an artist is going through. What artist do you think, kind of brought that out in you? Like, what artist do you feel like really connected with you in an emotional level? Could be like photography, could be like a musical artist, or even an actor or actress.
You got someone, Noah?
I mean, I already know Juice WRLD,
Yeah,
of course.
I felt like I
Definitely.
I was just about to say it if you said no.
Somebody other than Juice WRLD. We talked about it.
XXX Tentacion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Respect.
Even-
oh yeah, at a young age.
I don't know. I
I'd
feel
say.
like all the artists in that like group, like even Lil Peep, Mac Miller, like,
Mac for sure. I mean,
and especially with them being gone, it kind of gives you a whole nother perspective on their music and stuff. So
and like we found them at like a really young age too,
definitely,
right? Like we were on SoundCloud in the early days, listening to like Vice City, right? So it was like,
unreleased Juice WRLD.
yep, oh yeah, going way back. But no, I guess for me, I'd probably say Bo Burnham. Actually, ironically enough, I don't know, just felt like that was like, oh, dude can like be funny and like be like critical of something at the same time, which I feel like is kind of what I try to go for in some of my work. So like to talk about something more seriously, but have it be like something that is still like to go up in a gallery, right? So yeah.
You talked about Bo Burnham, right? Like,
Yes.
and you said how he addresses serious topics with like an undertone of him being funny, but like he's still bringing out issues that are
100%.
happening, right?
Oh yeah, he's still very serious, but like it's the undertones that are
It's
funny.
the
to me,
undertone.
yeah.
Do you feel like there could ever be like a way to communicate that through photography? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like a lot of different. I feel like even abstract artists have kind of done that in a sense, just to be able to present something that at its core is very simple. Oh man, I have like images in my head, but I can't think of names, obviously,
you
which is
can
very
describe it,
annoying. I
right?
want to shout out like certain artists right now, but no, I can definitely think of work where artists are able to like do something much more like simple and abstract in a way, but have it address something that's like very serious and have those kind of like undertones, and have it even be like catchy in a sense, which I think is good. When photography kind of be like catchy like that,
Yeah.
it's a good quality.
Yeah.
I definitely need more of that in my work.
When you say that, like obviously like with Keshi and art, I instantly think of like what's his name, Keith Haring.
Oh yes,
His work, I would say like with what he's done for like the different communities in art. I've seen like his artwork on Run DMC and things like that. And do you ever feel like with photography, would you ever want to mix that with like actual art, actual paintings?
Oh, like 100%. I feel like art is like it's not limited to one medium at the end of the day, right? It's whatever you want to do with it. And there are a million artists out there that are just mixing mediums. There are I can think of students in my own program that have done like entire series where it's like, hey, come up, I've done like a series on graffiti, right? So part of the interactive like part of it is that you can graffiti on it yourself on some of like the prints, and then that itself is like made into its own image, which is then displayed later, right? So like I feel like 100% you can blend it, and just like the interactiveness is also like so cool, I think.
Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me out.
No, this is not a question. I was going to point it out. If anybody's seen the "Where Are You Now" video with Justin Bieber and Skrillex, I feel like that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about.
That's just what came to my mind right there.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? That video was like, when I first saw it, I was like maybe 12, right? And it was insane because I was like, I didn't know this could be done, like stop motion animation at the same time with like a bunch of different art. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Would you ever want to do something like that?
Oh, 110%. I'm trying to think of stuff I've done. I think the most like mediums that I've ever mixed is I've like taken images and then I've turned that into like basically like halftones, which are like a bunch of those like little circles that you see that are all the different sizes, and you look at them from like a certain perspective, it looks together. I've done that onto like laser engraving onto like birch hardwood and plywood and whatnot. So like I've done a little bit of that, but other than that, I haven't done much. But it's something I'm always interested in.
Okay, so I know we briefly touched upon AI in the start. I just want to.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was waiting for us to circle back.
It's the topic of 2023.
I mean, we use AI a lot now.
Oh my god. The music is crazy.
The music, you know how the artists have been. Oh, Connor's laughing in the corner. He's like, yeah.
Oh, I know.
taking
I
over
know
the
what y'all
world,
using
low-key.
AI for.
It's like basically
Music.
helping us to live our lives right now.
No, most
In
definitely.
many ways.
That's what it's made for, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, but as artists, what's your take on it? Like, how do you feel about it? And
I mean, first of all, I think there's a lot of benefits to it. I think it's an incredible thing. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of tech, right? And then like where it's going, and I think like the benefits from it can just be massive and take away, like you said, so many of those like remedial tasks that like no one wants to do, especially when I mentioned Photoshop earlier. The stuff that it's fixing is like the annoying hard
Masking
stuff,
and-
right?
Yeah.
But that's where
Yeah.
like as a professional I get concerned, because that annoying hard stuff is like what I charge for. Well, not entirely, but like it's part of it, right? So it definitely takes away some of like the professional skill in it, but at the same time it makes it more open and more accessible, and I think it just raises the bar a little bit higher now for artists, right? And as a tool, oh my god, it's incredible and I love it, right? So I think there's kind of two sides to that coin, but I'm just interested to see how it'll pan out.
Yeah. From what I've seen recently, like on the internet, I mean, if it perfectly recreated like a song, someone else's
you've
voice.
seen the Drake.
Which it
Drake
has.
Yeah,
voice.
but a lot of those have to be like someone has to record the vocal.
I mean, you could
Some
sample
actually
Drake's
can.
voice and, like,
Yeah, you can sample the voice.
start
True.
getting on songs from like. Do you think it makes basically you lose the purpose of being unique? And I mean, anybody can make a Drake song now.
I mean, kinda, but I feel like music nowadays isn't about like so much sounding like other people, but it's like being unique in your own way. So like when you make a new style of music and come out and people like that,
Right.
like even if you had AI, it might not have made that easier to do because you have to do it. There's some creative process that you're gonna build, but you never know. Yeah.
I don't know if the viewers know, but like about the Mr. Krabs song, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Your formula.
Yeah.
What do you think about like that aspect of AI, where people like characters from like cartoons and stuff, they can also rap now, right? And I think that's crazy. Cause, like,
I think it's cool.
I think it's fun.
It's comedy too.
It
if
is.
you
I like
want.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm game for it.
Yeah, like for those of you that don't know, search up Secret Formula by I think Cash Crabs on
Mhm.
Spotify, YouTube. That song was made totally by AI, but the guy that's rapping sounds exactly like Mr. Krabs and Squidward and all these guys.
Yeah.
So like that aspect of AI obviously like, you know, excites me a little bit. What do you think about AI to like improve your craft? You know what I mean? Like say you have a problem that you can't figure out on Photoshop, or say you have a problem that you can't figure out yourself. How do you like navigate that? Would you ever use AI for that?
I mean, there's a video I can think of on YouTube by Linus Tech Tips where he asked AI to like, hey, I think it was like a Tesla Model S or whatever. And he's like, and I want like, what's like the luggage space? Like, how could I most efficiently like pack my luggage here? And it answered it like beautifully. Right. This was, I think, Bing's response. Like, this was when it like first came out and like people were kind of messing around with it. And it was like breaking down like, yeah, you could fit like, 8 standard size as far as like airport regulation suitcases. And like this configuration would be the best. But like, here's are the 3 options. Here's the video I got it from. Like, if it can do that consistently without freaking out and having an existential crisis, then I think we're onto something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's always up and coming, right? I mean, we're just in the early stages of AI right now. Like,
It's getting so
just
good.
introduced to it, you know? It's gonna go. I think it's gonna go up from here. I mean, people are scared. People are like happy about it, but you never know where it's gonna go. Another question for you guys is, I have this in my notes.
This man came so prepared. Oh
He's
my
ready for
gosh,
it.
look at him. Takes notes before. This is so impressive.
Can you share a story of your failures or any failure or setback that ultimately led to growth and success in your own lives? Like maybe in your childhood, it was impactful though.
You gotta let me think for a minute.
Yeah. Failure or a setback that led to growth.
'Cause we've been through a lot, man. Like,
Oh, yeah. Immigrating here?
yeah.
Coming to this country, that was like the biggest setback. I was living a nice life in India, bro.
You know what? Now that I think about it, when I was born in Quebec, right, in Montreal. So I went to an all French school where they didn't speak English, and like English was like if you spoke English, you get in trouble. Like we weren't allowed to speak English.
Really?
We had to like sneak it a little bit at recess and stuff. Like this was like grade 3, and then I moved. No,
Yo,
We
bro.
just said recess
It's
talking
pretty good, you found the breathing.
but I think moving to Ontario and learning English, like I wonder if I ever would have even made music had I not learned the English language and made that move. If I'd just be speaking French, maybe I'd be rapping in French. But
So your first language, French.
technically, yeah.
Would you rap in French if you had to?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't remember French enough.
You don't remember it at all? Well, like your families, they still speak French, right?
Yeah, like my mom, my dad, my sisters. Because I only got it till grade 3, right? Everyone else got it. Either my parents were there their whole lives, and then my older sister went through her whole high school there. So it was just a little different for me. I learned like the basics. But I was good with French immersion. So like if I wanted to relearn it, I feel like I could. But I just don't remember the words.
What are you, Connor?
I mean, I'm still over here thinking about it a bit, but I guess if I had to kind of jump on one point, it was probably, thinking way back to high school now. I feel as many people are probably like going through a time where like, people were bullied and whatnot. I definitely went through a little bit of that, but I feel like going through some of those rough times and like, making the choice to switch schools and get out of Kingston and go back to DeGan. I mean, this man basically convinced me on it.
Convinced him to switch
and
schools.
It was like one of the best decisions that like I made probably around that time. And then also just like coming up here to Toronto in general, like coming out from like the COVID wave, which was
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
yeah, COVID,
Yeah.
COVID mentality, right? Coming from that to eventually pushing myself to like during that time, go, okay, this sucks now, but I'm going to go to Toronto. So you know what I mean? Just kind of keeping that mentality there. It all ended up working out. So like, that's
That's what
good.
matters. What about you?
Oh, me?
Yeah, I mean,
Going full circle.
you got a second.
Bring on Rosie.
Nah, I was gonna be like, yeah, come in this country.
You said that enough. There's got to be something else.
A tragic story that changed my perspective and like led to growth, I think would be see, when I came here, I had a lot of friends back home, and I knew that you have a bigger circle. It's like you're the cool kid. It's fun. You have a lot of friends to talk to. But when I came here, that circle shrunk to like tiny speck. So like
Yeah, that's kind of how like it was for me.
yeah,
when I moved,
true.
like,
100%.
When you move to like a new city or country or anything. So I think that ultimately set me on a tragic path. As a kid, you're like, what? You're thinking about, I lost my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's how you grow into like being independent and like strong individual. As a kid and even now, your journey, how have you dealt with critique or negative feedback? You know, how has it played a toll on your mental health as well? Because you go through a lot in school, right?
I mean, I think I'm in an arts program where we have multiple critiques, like, you know, a semester. So I at this point, I'm like, give me all of the feedback. You know what I mean? Tell me all the good about it. Tell me all the
I
bad
agree
about
with
it. Just
that.
tell me how you feel. And I've gotten pretty good at this point of being able to, like, you know, just kind of take it at what it is. And for me, I'm able to, I mean, he knows I'm definitely a competitive person. So for me, I was just kind of take those things and just like, all right, that's like the next goal, right? And just kind of channel it like that, right? So it's just figuring out, I think, how you take it more than anything,
True.
right? It's
True.
just, yeah.
I appreciate like the criticism and stuff, especially when people are real with me. Like this should be changed. I'll be like, okay, like that makes total sense, and I can learn from that. But if people are just like hating just to hate, and like they don't give me anything to build off of that I could use to like improve that, whatever that they don't like is, then I think it's kind of just a pain. If someone's just saying, oh, like you suck at this, like at least tell me something I can do to do better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, a lot of times, like, critique, people think they're giving constructive criticism, but what they don't realize is, like, how that affects people, right? What might be constructive to them, right, could be perceived in a negative way. It's all about perception to the person that you're critiquing, right? And I feel like a lot of times, because us three, we're in engineering, and, like, we got a bunch of people in the room that are also in engineering. It's like, you know, when you're in engineering, you're always, like, striving to be, like, good, perfect. And if you can't get that perfection, right?
It sucks,
right? Especially, like, with projects, I feel like, you know? Because even when you're doing, like, certain projects, like, I remember we had this one project where we had to, like, get a computer-aided design and everything, and you got to be, like, at your 100% when you can't be at your 100%. And then when, like, let's say a TA tells you, like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, you know, it's garbage. It feels bad because, like, you've tried your best, right? How do you feel, like, you know, after getting critiqued and, like, getting tweaked and everything, and you still feel like you're not enough? Like, what do you do when you have to deal with that type of situation?
I mean, for me, it's like, go talk to someone. I always like to try to surround myself with people who are better than me, who know more than me, and just have more expertise, because you're just going to learn so much just by being around those kind of people.
Definitely.
Right? So, like, for me, it was like, oh, who's, like, the most skilled professor at, like, I'm just talking, like, skill in photography in, like, my program. Oh, it's him. Okay, cool. He's like, I'm his bitch now, right? Like, so that's basically how it goes.
Yeah.
You just have to put yourself around those people, I feel like. And then just from there, I feel like you'll get critiqued a lot, but you'll understand the why. So
I think for me, I think video games taught me pretty early that if I keep working and trying and doing good and like learning from my mistakes, that I'll eventually get better and better, even if that takes like ages.
Guitar.
So with me, thank you.
Tell me about it.
Music, school, even like I've just keep applying myself, doing the stuff that I can to try and get better, and I feel like I've noticed a lot of differences.
I have one last question before Drew can like end it off then. So you guys, we talked about a lot. What is your like legacy or like purpose you hope to
Impact.
Whoa.
Hope to leave like your time being on Earth, you know?
Holy shit.
Honestly,
I'm just thinking about dinner right now, bro.
I don't know if I'm at that level yet. I don't know.
Do you think you would have something
Well,
later on in life?
I think so, yeah. And I think like with doing engineering
it
at all.
like on a macro
No,
level,
but I hope that like through engineering, I'll give it from two standpoints. Through engineering, I hope that I can at least work on something or like be part of something that like improves technology for the future, for space travel or whatever it be. And for music, I think it's important to like reach people, at least try and like connect with some sort of emotion or something they've done in the past. Just so I have some sort of impact on these
music
day-to-day
does do
lives.
that.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, that's the hope, because it definitely helped me through a lot of stuff.
I mean, hey, if photography is able to pay the bills like that, then I mean, as far as photography goes, hey, I want to see my stuff up on billboards. So anyone that owns any billboards by any chance, just you got the shout out earlier. So, but no, like, I mean, I don't know. I've always liked the idea of just being able to kind of like, take a look at what's wrong, kind of where we are here, and just fixing things. I'm a huge person in education. I've always kind of loved what LeBron has done. The idea of like, I have all this money, so I'm going to open up a school.
Yeah.
I've always respected the hell out of that. So I don't know. Education's important. Go to school. Stay in school. Like,
Don't drop out.
You can go to school and
don't
follow
drop
your
out.
dreams.
You
can do them both.
Do both.
Most people here are. We have no other choice. This is a world. This is a society that we live in. We live in a society.
Yeah, being a brown. I feel like being a brown kid, like with us, it's kind of different because we don't come from a background where like our parents necessarily support being creative as much as more open societies would, right? Because like in India and like Pakistan, I'm guessing, right, the emotion's more like, oh, follow your path and do something that will A, make you good money, and B, have a stable future for you to be in, right? And like a lot of times people, when they hear that you're making music or you're doing photography, they don't think of a stable future.
No.
They don't think about that, right? And like that initially, like I don't know about Jaden photography with you, but for me, like producing, I remember there were days where like I would have to argue with my dad because I was making beats instead of studying. And like
I think you need
I've been
both.
there.
Though.
I know, and
You
that's
gotta
what
get
I'm
that out
saying.
somewhere.
You need that balance.
You need the balance, but like what he didn't realize was like, oh, like this guy's like this is my exit. You know what I mean? And like instead of like just being cooped up and stressing about school, I can at least like take my mind off of it by making my own music and like trying to get out into a space where I'm more comfortable.
I think art is definitely better than scrolling on your phone.
Oh yeah.
Being able to record music and stuff, like you're putting it towards something, right?
Right.
Instead of just
100%.
watching all those other people put their emotions towards their own creatives on your own phone, just scrolling over and over.
Yeah.
But it is good for inspiration, I've noticed.
100%. It teaches you how to like prioritize, right? And I mean, especially as students, we can all say this. I don't know any student that does like 100% of everything that is like, because it's impossible. You can't, right? Like we have other lives, so it's balance.
Yeah, and even with like the podcast, I mean, we looked at so many outlets, so many ways to do it during the school year, and like this is something that we're both passionate about. But obviously, like you don't find the time, especially in like engineering.
Mm-mm.
But I'm glad that we're up and running right now, and more than happy that we have these guys here. What do you guys think? This
You're
is your
bound
first
to be
time?
on it. It was
Yeah,
fun. I enjoyed
first
this.
time being on a podcast. So like,
Ever,
I mean,
yeah.
I've set up many, but I've never actually gotten the chance to sit down at one finally. So no, this has been nice. Thank you very much for having me on. Appreciate it a lot.
It's been a
Well,
good
that's why
time.
you guys on
Appreciate
again,
it.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Definitely be back.
Well, this has been the 8th episode of the Chai Company Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
With Connor and Noah.
Thanks,
Jaden,
guys.
We're out.
Drew, Jaden.
Yeah.
Stay proud.
Thank you very much.